Last week, Netflix lost $50 billion in value overnight. They announced they didn't hit their subscriber goals for 2021. They predicted slower growth and investors ran scared. Their stock tanked over 22%, which is abysmal. But even those hits weren't the end for Netflix because now it's being said that they could lose over 750,000 subscribers to Disney. I have a bunch of different stuff I want to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I wanted to start off with showing this article that explains the situation that happened a couple of days ago. It says Netflix lost $50 billion in value overnight. How poorly did Wall Street react to Netflix's earnings on Thursday, in which the streaming giant fell just shy of its own subscriber goals, but forecasts slower growth going forward? Well, Netflix's market cap lost $50 billion virtually overnight. Netflix on Thursday said it nearly reached its self-ascribed goal of 222 million subscribers by the end of 2021, but nearly doesn't cut it for investors who panicked so hard that Netflix's stock price lost more than $100 in value overnight, and it hasn't changed. If we look at the past 5 days, as you can see, on January 20th, it was at $508, and then it dropped to $386, and right now, it's sitting at $370. So it hasn't gone up very much, it hasn't changed, and if we look at the chart from the past year, this is the lowest that their stock has been by far. For Netflix, this was the worst 24-hour period on the stock market since July 2012, as its stock price plummeted 21.8% from the close of business on Thursday to Friday's close. So on Thursday, Netflix did announce they almost hit their goals for 2021, but almost isn't good enough. Netflix has said, oh, we've lost subscribers because the pandemic bump is over and we almost hit our goals, but it's not enough for investors. If you're trying to calm the worries of investors, you'd think they'd provide some data for them that's positive, but they don't seem to have anything positive here. They're talking about their growth slowing down. They didn't reach any of their subscriber goals for the past year. As an investor, I would be pretty spooked right now, and of course, that's why the stock is tanking. Investors weren't just spooked by the lower than expected results. Netflix is providing lower guidance for the first quarter of 2022, forecasting 2.5 million new subscribers compared to 4 million in the same time frame last year, and that would be its worst quarter in a decade. So yes, there's many reasons right now why investors are really spooked. A lot of people aren't feeling very confident in the future growth of the company. I wanted to also show off this Guardian article talking about how Netflix could actually lose 750,000 UK subscribers as Disney takes control of hit shows. Now, they are losing the licenses to these shows, and these titles will now go places like Disney+. It says Netflix is facing a fight to stop as many as 750,000 UK subscribers defecting as its rival Disney takes back exclusive control of hits such as Modern Family, How I Met Your Mother, and Sons of Anarchy to bolster its own service. These are pretty big shows, even though they're not new, they're not shows that have new seasons coming out or anything. They're still shows that are watched pretty often. They're highly regarded shows. They're shows a lot of people like. Analysts at the research firm Digital Eye estimate that the loss of the titles, which also include Prison Break and New Girl, with Homeland expected to follow soon, could cost Netflix UK as much as £90 million annually if all of the 750,000 subscribers were to follow their favorite shows and leave, and these core users are at high risk of unsubscribing because a large proportion of their viewing was of these shows. It definitely isn't looking very positive for Netflix. I can definitely see why a lot of people at the company would be running around like headless chickens right now. This is very, very worrying. These are massive dips in numbers that are being speculated right now. Now, Bounding Into Comics did put up an article on the situation, and I quickly wanted to read one portion of it. It says Netflix faces a bit of an identity crisis on this front. On one hand, it openly promotes ultra-woke properties while simultaneously defending anti-woke content such as Dave Chappelle's controversial The Closer. The problem with straddling the political fence is that it ends up alienating customers on both sides to Netflix's own detriment. Another issue is how Netflix is leveraging their woke content to the rest of the world. It's delusional to think that most countries have embraced wokeness the same way that Western nations have, which means it's practically impossible to entice viewers in countries like India where it hasn't taken root. So they're talking about Netflix's content, and I do think that that's a big problem for them. I think that Netflix right now is facing multiple problems. Number one is they've got 220 million subscribers. I feel like they've hit a bit of a ceiling for now. There's obviously still room to grow, but how much more is the question? And another problem is content. Yes, they put out lots of different content, but they also cancel a lot of shows that have been successful or that people at least wanted an end to. The OA was one, Altered Carbon. Even though they're doing spin-offs, they canceled the Castlevania main series as well. Look at Sense8. They literally canceled it because people liked it too much and they said its fan base was too passionate, and that is absolutely BS. They're canceling shows that have good ratings and high viewership, all because they think another season wouldn't pull numbers like the first or second, and they're canceling content that people want to stay subscribed for and that people want to see more of. At the end of the day, I don't feel bad for Netflix that they could lose subscribers over this, but I also don't like Disney either, and seeing content be pulled from one platform just to go to another is annoying. I get it, licenses are up, but for consumers, it's just another pull to go and pay for another service. A big reason to switch from cable to these services was, oh, you're only paying $8 to $10 a month for a huge chunk of content. But Netflix just raised their prices again, and the standard plan is now $15.49 a month. Never mind paying for HBO, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Crunchyroll, Funimation. I mean, the list goes on. With their price raise, I think this year we're going to see a lot of people cancel their plans and say enough is enough. I'm just going to try to watch the specific series I want to see. But only time will tell. I guess we're gonna have to see what happens, but right now Netflix is definitely not in a good place. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.